Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Yelta Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Hello, good people. It is good to know that we are still alive 7 days later from the last show.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the political counter himself, Zealeus.
So,
This is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a live weekly show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you. But if you haven't yet submitted your topics, your questions, or perhaps you have opinions that you would like to add, please, at any time during the show, drop them in the chat. We will add them to the show.
Whoa, opinions?
Yes.
Opinions, sir?
There's a lot of, we're always open to opinions. If we do unfortunately run, we will try to add them all to this show. If we do run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. So let us start off quickly by doing a quick little PSA. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen, there's a phenomenal author out there who goes by the name of Dan Jolley. I actually got the chance to interview him back at, I think it's the last Canuga that we did. He wrote a book series, I believe it's a trilogy, called The Grey Widow Saga. Currently on Amazon, you can get the very first book for 99 cents. So if you haven't checked out, the first book is The Grey Widow's Walk. I highly recommend it, especially for those in the Atlanta area, because the book starts in Atlanta, which is kind of cool. And also, he's a really good author. So I've liked everything that he's written since the Grey Widow trilogy. He's written a bunch of stuff beforehand, but I've really gotten into his stuff since the Grey Widow trilogy. So check it out. There was another book that he came out. His most recent book, I believe, is called, what was it called? Zealeus, help me out here. I want to call it like the Rune Master Murders or something like that.
It's actually hard to tell. It's hard to tell from Amazon what his most recent book is.
There's like a Rune Master.
I see Mega Dogs in New York. I see The House of Teeth. I see Waterland, Grey Widow's Walk, The Storm.
Okay, that's a really good book too. But that now you're gonna make me look it up.
I think it's The Light. It looks like it's the most recent one.
Let's see here. If I just look at here we go. It's the Rune Master Homicide.
Well, there you go.
Which is it's a Demon Sleuth Scrolls. It's the Demon Scroll Sleuth Book 1. So it's gonna be more, but the first one, awesome, loved it. I can't complain. Anyways, so go check it out. If you haven't already, go check it out. I highly recommend it. It's got my stamp of approval. Now, the next bit of news is that Nintendo has officially bought a animation studio. The animation studio was called Dynamo Pictures. But they have already have plans to rename it Nintendo Pictures. And that will, of course, allow for I'm guessing I need a hold on, let me look this up. Because I feel like this is the same, isn't this the company that was doing the Mario?
I don't know. Maybe. I got distracted because I just learned Don Jolley wrote a Angel book from the Buffyverse.
Oh yeah, man.
Who knew?
Let's see, Mario movie. Actually, let's just do Chris Pratt. That was probably the quickest way to find out. Because you never know with. Wait, what? Oh, whoops. Company. I don't want companies. I want the celebrity. Damn it. Gotta love when they try to decide where you're going to search.
You will search where I want you to, and you will like it, sir.
Here you go. Untitled Illumination Entertainment Super Mario Project. Well, then I guess it's not Dynamo Studios. Never mind then. Okay, well, whatever. Look, here's the thing. I feel like this is a very smart move by Nintendo which of course is already following in the footsteps of Sega, Marvel, Riot, and Gearbox. They all have their own kind of like TV movie production internal studio, and in my opinion, this gives them full rights and ability to make sure that it stays true to the letter.
Well, I think you've also seen, like with Netflix and Amazon, what they've done. Well, mostly Netflix with their animes, of how popular they've become. I mean, you kind of used to almost have to like go out of your way to watch anime or be very specific in subscribing to something like a Crunchyroll, or know to go to like specific websites to watch animes.
Right.
Whereas now, like anybody can just like, oh, this sounds interesting, who maybe would not be introduced to that world otherwise.
Right. Well, I mean, the other thing is like the League of Legends show, Arcane, was done by the Riot studio. The Borderlands movie is being done by Gearbox.
Yeah, much. I'm still questioning life choices as far as that goes, but what do I know?
God, I really, I don't know when it's coming out. It's supposed to be coming out this year, but it could be so cool. It could be so cool.
I'm call me skeptical, but yeah, I'm sure as hell skeptical. I'll just leave it at that.
But here's the ray of hope, though, is the fact that Gearbox media branch is the studio. Because I'm going to be totally honest with you, if it was like MGM or Paramount or insert other very Hollywood-esque studio, I would be like, I would absolutely 100% be like, nope, because you would Hollywoodize the shit out of it, and it wouldn't be what it. Let's go. Transformers, Monster Hunter.
No, if you want the ultimate one, what is it like? King of Fighters or whatever it is.
What, DOA?
Yeah, DOA. That's what I'm thinking of. Dead or Alive. Which I've not seen it, but I've seen some YouTube rips on it, and apparently it's pretty much the worst thing ever made.
Of course. But that's the thing, like I feel that by doing this, if done correctly, Nintendo could really, be able to maybe produce, maybe this is the start of, a Mario project, or fingers crossed, maybe a Zelda project. I would be totally down for that.
I mean, I think most of the universe, let's be honest, would be totally down for that kind of project.
Yeah.
It's something I think we all want and would be like fascinated by.
Yeah. I mean, can we get, I want, okay. Oh, who would do it though? If there was going to be a Mega Man movie, because Capcom's not going to have their own animation studio or
just set it to the Proto Man and you solve all your problems.
What I want to see is Proto Man, the Act 1 is, they do it like a rock opera. If you've actually looked at the lyrics for Act 1, it actually gives you the stage direction of what Dr. Wily's doing. And so my question is, and I'm sure if I could probably, if I deep dive, maybe I can find this. I wonder if this was ever actually on the stage. Because if it was, damn it, we missed out.
I don't know. Interesting life questions.
There's so many interesting life questions in life. But look, the thing is, at the end of the day, not a big surprise that Nintendo would make this type of move. I think that we're now in. I mean, we've obviously been in this realm of video game IPs jumping over into TV and movies. And to be honest with you, it's yes, I understand, brand name alone can bring in some money, but if you actually have a company that actually 100% gives a shit of keeping it close to source material, that could really, really be good.
I agree. I hope it becomes something, but we shall see what it actually happens. Like most medias, I'll be skeptical until we actually see what happens.
Agreed.
We've seen how often it also does not work, unfortunately.
Agreed. But that's why I'm hopeful, you know, with it being a Nintendo, you know. Now, of course, I'm still dying to see what's the big one I'm looking for? Oh, Sandman. I need to see Sandman. It's coming out on Netflix. It's coming out. It premieres Friday, August 5th, which is way too far out. And actually, this is TMI for everyone, but it'll be 4 days after I get my permanent crown on the tooth I just had a root canal on.
Oh, wow. You're just having all kinds of teethy funds.
Well, you got to get a root canal. And the root canal, they only put a temporary thingy-madoodle in there because you got to go back to the dentist so you could get a permanent cap on there. Or crown or whatever it's called. Fun times. Fun times.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Now, keeping it in the vein of video games, because...
Oh, we're not still talking about root canals?
No, we're not talking about root canals, though. Yeah, the doctor's like, wow, you really have a very high tolerance for pain. I'm like, yes, because usually people are squirming when we're giving them the shot. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
no, when it comes to teeth, nope. I'm a little wuss, man. I'm like, nope. I don't like teethy things.
We all got our weaknesses, Zealeus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's get back to video games. We just talked about Nintendo lists, and I did mention Sega, but instead of talking about a Sega movie, let's talk about the next Sega Genesis Mini 2. You know, those wonderful consoles that are slam bam packed with 50 of their greatest games.
Is it really?
As of right now, they haven't released the entire list of 50 games. However, they have released a good list of them, and just for those out there who are interested, you can pre-order on Amazon right now. It will officially come out sometime in October of this year if you're in North America. I'm assuming that Japan's probably already got it or is about to get it. But actually, if Japan already had it, then we'd have the full list. So they don't have it yet. But anyways, here are some of the games that are going to be there. Sonic CD, Shining Force CD, Slipheed, Mansion of Hidden Souls, Night Striker, Ninja Warriors, Afterburner 2, Outrun, Outrunners, Virtua Racing, Super Hang-On, Sonic 3D Blast, Shining in the Darkness, Vector Man 2, The Ooze, Bonanza Brothers, Alien Soldier, Rainbow Island Extra, Splatterhouse 2, Rolling Thunder 2, Lightning Force, Fantasy Zone, and Star Mobile. Now, I have to say, and you might want to mark this down in your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I'm actually impressed with most of this list. Like, if, hypothetically, I were to have ever had something that magically played Sega games on the PC, if, hypothetically, I would say that my library actually included a lot of these titles. I would say that my library would, hypothetically, include Fantasy Zone, Lightning Force, Rolling Thunder 2, Rainbow Islands, Alien Soldier, Vector Man 2, Shining in the Darkness, Sonic 3D Blast, Afterburners 2, Ninja Warriors, Night Strikers, Shining Force, and Sonic CD, which is 13 games out of the list that I just gave you.
Just think, you have a legitimate reason to now go purchase an authorized copies.
That's so good. I'm pretty. To be totally well. If it accidentally ended up under the Christmas tree, I wouldn't hate it.
You wouldn't return it in a fit of rage. You'd be like, damn it, these other 37 games are crap, and I just can't handle this.
Would you guys stop trying to false advertise the shit on me? All my favorite games, bullshit.
This is not all. It's missing 2 of them, damn it.
It's missing the other 3 that I played a lot.
Without those 3, I will kick it in the face.
They're all RPGs. They all took 37 hours, but that's besides the point.
And I just get through the tutorial.
I am very curious about one thing, and I'm sure that because, technology has advanced a shit ton, that this probably isn't an issue, but I'm curious about all these mini systems and the save file system that they have.
What about it?
Like, is it like the old school save files, like from the original Sega, or is it one of those ones where you can hotkey a save this 3 steps, save again, save again, save again. Which, by the way, I loved that feature in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Instead of having to find the save crystals that were in different areas, you could literally just be like, I survived that. Okay, pause. Y. That's the quick save. All right, back to the action.
That is actually one advantage of PC over console gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like when playing Tales of Arise, when you want to save it, like you have to click like 6 times because you got to get in and get out of that menu. We're usually with the PC version. A lot of times, even if you're playing with a controller, you can hit like F5 or F4 or something to do like a quick save.
Yep.
Like that's the one thing I wish it had. I'd love to say, so sidebar.
Yep.
One game I did, so the last 2 days was Amazon Prime.
Uh-oh.
No, it was free.
Oh, okay.
The Mass Effect Legendary Edition for Prime subscribers.
Sweet. Yes.
Now, granted, you obviously have to authenticate it through Origin because it's an EA thing. But I was
you have to do that even if you got it through Steam. So.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So I'm like, free. Like I was planning on getting Legendary Edition probably actually after I was finished with Tales, anyways. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, this is and I played it all the original trilogy. I played on the 360.
Yep.
And so I love the PS5, but I'm like, if I'm gonna play it again, I want a different kind of experience. I'm gonna play it on the PC this time because and probably easier to do things like sniper rifles and other things like that I have no desire to do on any console.
I still play with the controller.
No, I'm going to play keyboard and mouse this time. Just kind of.
I know, but I'm just saying that I have it on the PC and I use the controller.
I totally get that. When I play Final Fantasy 14 at my computer, I use the controller when I'm playing that on the PS5, even though I can technically use a keyboard and mouse.
Keyboard and mouse on a console just sounds like icky to me. I don't know.
Well, it's one thing, like for 14, it's not against the TOS to do that. So like Overwatch, understandably, it is against the terms of service to do that. But something like Final Fantasy 14, where intentionally playing with PC people, they don't care.
Right.
But I know what you mean. I do have like a really cheap wireless keyboard and mouse combo with like the trackpad just to be able to like type to people.
I don't talk to anyone.
Yes, I know. People are terrible. You'd rather just deal with like real humans. I don't know why. I prefer people over the internet who may or may not be fake or real. I don't actually know.
They're all fake, damn it. Well, except for everyone who tunes into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangouts. They're real.
Don't ruin my illusions, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, Zealeus. Maybe.
No, I don't think you are, sir.
I have my moments. Okay, so speaking of games that excite us, there's a game that I played on the PlayStation, the Xbox 360, that blew my mind, and I couldn't get enough of that. That, of course, was Alan Wake, and then Alan Wake there's been a sequel that's been rumored for years. Now, the director from Alan Wake 2, because it was officially announced a while ago, the director has come out and said that the script and story for Alan Wake 2 is the biggest Remedy entertainment, or Remedy, is it entertainment or an interactive? I can't remember. Anyways, Remedy has ever attempted, which makes me even more excited. But at the same time, I'll have to admit that I'm a little bit scared with that announcement, because if you have a very, very, complex and lengthy story, that in my mind is making the game come out later and later. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so Alan Wake originally came out in 2010. So it's been 12 years.
It's like when they were making, Square Enix has talked about making Final Fantasy 16. And one of the things they said was, so 16, it's not an open world game, but they're very explicit. Like, look, guys, like with what we're trying to do with 16, if we went the route, kind of like you're saying, of making it an open world game, it would make us like 15 years to develop with what we're doing in the game. So there comes a certain point where it's definitely got to make those choices, whether it be the story or like an open world versus more on rails, of when do you want the game to actually come out. And that can be a tricky proposition, because you obviously want to make your gamers happy. You want to make new monies. So you want to put as much into it. Well, some developers do. So where do you kind of draw that line between like development of staying on track in adding features, or knowing when to take away features to not have feature bloat and actually have a game that's going to be good?
I just hope that when the next Final Fantasy comes out, that there's not a 32-hour tutorial.
Going off of the description of 16, I would guess it's going to have a pretty lengthy tutorial, sir.
I just got, I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I found, was it 13? Yeah. When I played 13, and I put in like 34 hours, and then, because yes, I'm almost 2 hours slower than the average, and then it's like, okay, and now the real game starts. So like, F this. I never played it again.
Well, no, that's a good question. I mean, think about it. So like, the game I've been playing recently is Tales, and it's like, I'm 20 to 25 hours in, and they're still adding like new like battle mechanisms. Not like, I get it, like you're playing like a hack and slash, you're gonna get new skills.
Right.
Which to me is different than entirely new battle mechanisms as you're playing. And to me, there definitely comes a certain point in a game, and I think 13 goes over the top of that, where it's like, okay, I already played this many hours, like allow me to kind of like perfect and really get involved with what I know, versus continuing to basically push new battle techniques. Or
well, at least they're pushing new stuff. And 13, my biggest gripe was the fact that it's like, okay, we're forcing you to change up your party so you can see the different dynamics that would occur if you had these three people instead of those three people. I'm like, I don't care. I'm sorry. No,
I say, because at least I was actually thinking of you, because at least in Tales, they add new characters with different blah blah blahs. Yeah, but you can keep your same original three the whole time.
Exactly. I've got no problem with that,
because we've had this discussion before, and for me, I find it really hard. Like if I spend if I get another character, probably like 5 to 10 hours into a game, I'm still fine learning that character.
Right.
But there comes a certain point, and it's probably about 15 to 20 hours in, where you give me a new character, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sure they're a great character, but I know these original 3 to 4 do what I need to. I'm just sticking to these people because they do my thing. And these other two, I'm probably honestly never going to touch because I'm so far into the game already.
Right. But I do also want to point out that there are examples of games that there are where you have a party where there are perhaps usually they're side quests where you have to include certain member, and maybe that certain member is a person who came in later. That I'm okay with, where I'm like, okay, instead of, let's say you've got a party of 3 and you've got your main 3, and then you're like, oh, there's a side quest with this other person that I picked up, like number 5 on the list or something. And so it's me, number 5, and then I grab, whoever, either 2 or 3 that's going to complement it, and then I go, and then maybe I find out that number 5 really makes things work.
That's true.
But it's not a requirement, and that's what drives me nuts. Is like when they try to force a player onto you, like you got to at least try. I'm like, no, I don't.
Okay, so what about the reverse? So take, I'm spoiler alert, I'm breaking probably the statute of limitations of surprises and spoilers. So you got, like, for instance, like 2 really well-known ones are Final Fantasy VII and the original KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep.
Where there's core characters who temporarily or permanently are probably characters to get, player gets very invested in, but then you have no choice and they're not in your party anymore.
Yep.
It might be the rest of the game. It might be a good chunk of the game. So what do you feel like about games that force you to not have, and most of the time, because you have to have an emotional effect, are probably an integral part of who was in your party, who, to our point, you got used to, and now you can no longer have them. So how do you feel that when a game does that?
If it makes sense, I'm okay. But if it's just like, if okay, so the character that Zealeus is trying to allude to is like, if I hear her theme song, I get misty eyed. Okay, because she had such an effect on me, in the story of Final Fantasy VII.
That works.
But at the same time, like, there was a reason. It wasn't just like, stray bullet, oh, nuts. I mean, it was a big plot turn. That I'm okay with. If it's something cheap, if it feels kind of like, the developer is just trying to force you to, switch things up. No.
That actually makes me think of, so there's a TV series called The 100. And there's a character who pretty much everybody loved who died basically from a stray random bullet. It, like, basically the entire fan base was pissed off about it, because it was like, wait, it was this character who like overcame all the stuff and was just a complete badass, and this is what you do to, like, who became many people's favorite characters? Like, at least have some, like, payoff. Like, maybe they died in an epic battle to, like, save the universe. Okay, that's cool. People could go for that, But it was just like, oh, nope, just a random stray bullet. Sorry, sucks to be you. It's like,
but okay, so
I actually stopped watching the show for like 2 years when that happened.
Okay. See, but that was a divisive thing that caused maybe an uptick in viewership to see why everyone's getting pissed at.
For this show, I know specifically, like, a lot of people were like me when that happened, where it's like, that was just dumb. So I'll take the opposite approach. A show that did it really well was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's actually another character in a very similar path of their stories and their relationships of what happened, and the character died. But the payoff was so monumental where it actually worked. Where it's like, oh, okay. Like, it actually, I guess it moved the storyline. Like, it really pivoted the storyline. I think it's when those characters die, and it's just like, it doesn't change anything. You're basically back to where you were, at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Versus if the character dies, who everybody loves, but it completely changes the story and actually has a pivotal moment, which I think, to your point, is why it works in Final Fantasy VII. Is it wasn't just the person died, let's just move on and not worry about it. Like, it actually had an effect. So I think that's kind of where it works. Or same thing in KOTOR. When the character gets taken away from you, like, from the rationale of why it happened, it's like, yep, that makes sense. So I think that's what really helps. So versus like the 100, where it just was stupid and served no purpose other than the probably reduced salary of the show, versus something like Final Fantasy VII or Buffy, where it actually moved and improved the storyline even.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of TV shows, I do have to give a quick shout out to my friend Tony Moore from Winthrop University. He actually got himself a recurring role on a daytime soap called Days of Our Lives Beyond Salem.
Wait, what? Hold on.
What?
I'm confused. There's like, is this like a sequel to Days of Our Lives?
No, it's a mini-series spinoff. It's a Peacock original.
Is Days of Our Lives still even on TV?
I think so. I don't know. Anyways, his character's name is Terrence. So I'm that dude Tony has worked his ass off so hard, doing so much stuff. I'm just happy to see that, he actually.
Whatever happened, I wonder to, what was the guy? Remember the guy at the convention who would like yell?
Hey!
Yes.
Yeah, it's Santiago. Santiago, he's got a new miniseries coming out too, I think.
Nice. That guy was cool.
Let me see. I think he posted about the.
I wish I could be that happy.
It is called. Yeah, it's a miniseries called Searchers. Something evil lurks in the small town of Charleston, Ohio. When Dusty Wick's body is found in a shallow grave, her best friend Hope Moon makes it her mission to find her killer. In doing so, she puts her life and the lives of the others in harm's way. Searchers, an episodic web series coming soon.
Nice.
Yep. No, yeah, Santiago, man. He's of course he's got like a bajillion different projects, and he's also still on his fight against bully campaign that he's always doing. So. Of course, for those out there who the name kind of Santiago Cirillo, if it sort of might be kind of sounds familiar, it was because he was one of the fan favorites in one of the seasons of The Walking Dead. He was Julio from, I believe, Black Sea when they were at the prison. So, yeah. Shazam.
I have definitely not seen that far in The Walking Dead. I've seen like the first 4 episodes.
I think they got to the farmhouse and then I was like, nope.
It's like it's on Netflix. I just can't get into it. I tried and I just get bored of it.
Santiago also was the co-author of a book with one of the longtime fans of the show, Kendra Souder.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of the book though? Zombified. He's working on the second book. The second book is hopefully going to be released in October. So not one, but two exciting things to think of in October. Zombified book 2, as well as the Sega Mini number 2.
Nice.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a quick pause to do the friends of the show. These are the amazing individuals who have helped Alter Confusion be what they are today. And let us start off with the one that we always start off with, the fantastic Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTR.com.
There you go.
The next friend of the show that we have to give you a shout out about is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wet Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/Noodle Boy Media.
So many options.
Now let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the amazing chiropractor in the greater Atlanta area, Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now, the last one that we have to thank is the mastermind behind our intro and outro, and that, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. Now, quick funny story. Apparently, I don't know who, because Facebook won't tell me, but somebody filed a claim from on our last show for, okay, our shows usually last about an hour and 15 minutes. This claim was for a single second of audio in an hour and 15-minute show. What the shit?
Like what? I'm so confused.
I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I was like, okay, maybe like Facebook will at least point me to the 1 second of audio that's egregious, but they don't. So I was like, I'm sorry. Here's a fun fact about Charlie. I love to do the show. I love doing Thursday Night Hangouts. I love to interview individuals. I hate listening to my own voice. I don't like the sound of my own voice. I like the content that I produce with the sound of my voice, but I don't want to listen to myself for an hour and 15 minutes. So I don't know what second it is. I don't know if it's like a squeak I made or Zealeus made, or it was in the intro or the outro or whatever, but really?
So they don't even tell you like where in the show you made the violation?
It'll just say the content will be muted.
That's really the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Like,
so I'm
how
literally
are you supposed to solve a problem if you don't know what problem you're solving?
So I sent an appeal. I'm like, look, if it's the intro or the outro, we have permission from the creator to put it there. If it's something else, it's two people talking.
We just can't get away from it, sir.
I'm sorry. It's maybe, you know what? I bet you I know what it is. I bet you it's the Ohio State University, because we use the word the, which probably takes a second to say. So the, yeah, about a second, which I'm surprised we didn't get dinged like, I don't know, 500 times during the show.
Well, if you get dinged a bunch right now for this show, we'll know why this time.
The. Come on, Ohio State.
The Ohio State is stupid because it's to the.
Oh,
awesome.
my God. So stupid. So stupid. Anyways. Yeah. Yes. Now, let us quickly do some Ultra Confusion shout-outs, because, those are super duper important as well. And the first one, of course, that we always have to do is the fact that Ultra Confusion will be participating in fundraising for Extra Life for the 11th straight year. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Alter Confusion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to be a friend of the show, an officially recognized friend of the show, and get a shout out every single Thursday night, or perhaps you would like to just help support Ultra Confusion at a slightly lower tier, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion has a Patreon. We survive and love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, the lovers, the haters, the supporters, the demigods, the extraterrestrial beings, the interdimensional beings, the ghost specters, whatever you are out there, to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Like I just hinted at, we have 2 tiers. We have one tier, it's $1 a month or $12 a year. And that will give you early access to all the playthroughs as well as access to all the patron-only posts. If you want to bump it up slightly and be part of the Friends of the Show for every single week, that is a $5 a month tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And that, of course, will give you all the stuff at the $1 amount, but also it will put your name or organization in the thank you section for every single Thursday night hangout. So if you're interested, go to patreon.com/alterconfusion. Patreon is spelled Patreon.com. And Alter Confusion is all one word.
Come Patreon us.
Yes. Become a patron. And while you're there, check out Nerdburger Games, who I believe just set up their Patreon page to help some of their supplemental spin-offs of some of their stuff. I believe the first one they're going to attempt is Capers Cyber.
Ooh, nice.
Indeed. Okay, so I have to say that there is something that happens many a times, be it in video games, be it in TV, be it in movies. And that, of course, is something that we sometimes is very humorous, sometimes very frustrating, and that is lost in translation. What I'm talking about is that there are, of course, games, movies, TV shows that are originally from a different country, so it's a different language, and so you get your subtitles. So if you do not know the language, then of course you get your dubs. Dubs, of course, is a different actor voicing over the lines, so that you can listen to it in whatever your native tongue is. My gripe that I've run into, I don't know what is going on, but Netflix, you're starting to piss me off. I don't know what's going on, but the last couple times I've chosen an English-speaking show, and then because the character is kind of mumbling or something, I've turned on subtitles so I know what they're talking about. But then, like, the subtitles and the actual dialogue is so far off, it's not even funny.
Like not accurate, you mean?
It'd be like, okay, I'm going to make up a sentence. Let's see here. The strength of the realm can be found in its people, is the line, okay? So it turns out the subtitle is, the people make the kingdom stronger in this time of need. I'm like, okay, yes, I understand. It means the exact same thing, but you have the script. It was first in English. You have the script. Just literally cut, paste, so it matches up.
I have not actually experienced that. I don't know what show you're talking about.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Actually, I think it was. Now, of course, I'm gonna forget because I've been bouncing between like 3 different Netflix shows as of late. Has anyone seen the Vinland Saga anime? It's a Viking thing. I have a big gripe with that. But I will keep it to myself because I don't remember how long it's been out. So I don't want to ruin it.
Okay, so speaking of subtitles, how do you feel about, in this case, video games? So I'll go back to Tales. The original, this is the first time for me that I've done this.
Okay.
Original Japanese, and I kept actually the spoken dialogue all in Chinese. Now I'm using only the dubs to actually, or subtitles, the subtitles to read in English what's going on. And it actually feels more immersive because it's like the natural, like when the character is speaking, it feels a little actually more natural to have that original language and then read the subtitles as they come. So you've played a lot more JRPGs than me, where this has probably been the case. Although I don't know how many you've played that are all spoken lines, to be fair.
True, but I will say that if there is going to be a more immersive experience through actual spoken dialogue, it's going to be in the native language. So if it was a Japanese game, if it's all in Japanese, chances are you're going to get more spoken dialogue from the Japanese version. Here's a fun fact, ladies and gentlemen. Not all dialogue content is created equal. There are going to be games out there that have spoken dialogue in the native tongue, Japanese, Russian, English, Icelandic, whatever. And then if you want to switch over to another language, either there will not be any spoken dialogue, or the spoken dialogue will be a much smaller subset of what is being spoken. So I'm totally okay with I am with you. I feel that now most of the time I do have English on, but if it does, if I get that, I guess that itch, then I'll switch over to the native language and then have the subtitles on. And yes, I agree. It can create a much more immersive environment. When it comes to Netflix shows, I listen or I watch the show in the original dialogue and the original language, the actual actors' voices, instead of having the American dub over it.
Well, I also think is like in video games specifically, I'm one of those people who, even if it's spoken, and I think this is why for me, games that don't have spoken dialogue don't bother me, as I always have subtitles on regardless.
Oh no, I do too.
And I'm much more to read in subtitles than I am caring about hearing the vocalization.
For me, I too, no matter if it's spoken in English or not, I will have the subtitles on when it comes to a video game. There's two reasons for that. One, just in case I actually accidentally missed what was said, so I could quickly read it. And two, because of my job, I now like automatically default to turning on captions, because with my 9-to-5 job, that's something I need to make sure in my 9-to-5 job that what is being said is being, completely 100% given to you in a different format as well. Otherwise, that's a big no-no for federal funded stuff.
By the way, totally random, but yes. I had a total Charlie moment. It was a government website I saw. I think it was a county one specifically. To fill out the form, you had to complete the CAPTCHA. The CAPTCHA was to type in the name of the color in a box. And I saw it, I'm like, well, what if you're color blind?
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, that's why, okay, I'm going off a little bit of tangent. There's a contrast ratio that has to be accomplished, because the thing is that certain color blindness will just make one color kind of disappear if you have if you don't have enough contrast in the background. But also that's why it's, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever go into teaching in a public university, college, whatever, you cannot color code shit on your website. You can bold it, but do not color code it, because color coding is a big no-no because of color blindness.
Which makes sense.
But to go a step further with the CAPTCHA thing, there should have been some kind of accessibility button there. If there wasn't, that's a no-no.
Yeah. I figured like probably some random guy at the county just made the website, and probably not a whole lot of oversight going on.
Ooh. That is my job's worst nightmare, is when a professor's like, well, I just went ahead and and popped it up online so everyone could see it.
Yep.
Anyway.
And I color-coded all of the questions and answers to help everyone more visibly and easily see what I'm asking them to do.
No. There's definitely teachers out there that'll be like, well, what I did is, for those who are paying attention, is I wrote during one of the lectures, I wrote on the board a name of a color. And if you actually went to my website and you looked for that color and what words were associated with that color, then you could get a leg up on the quiz. No, don't do that.
Sounds smart to me.
It's a great way to make sure that your students are paying attention. However, for an individual who can't actually see the color red or green or purple or some other color, yeah. No, don't do it.
Just do it, man.
Okay, so we have now reached the 4-year anniversary of a game called Octop Traveler, which a lot of people love. I hated the damn thing. There's no closure in it.
Didn't you play the whole game, though?
Yeah, I did. There's no closure in it. I mean, no, I did play the entire game. Did I enjoy the parts of the game? Yes. Did I enjoy the game overall? No. Because I was like, okay.
What if it's about the journey and not the destination?
No.
Like, think of it, all of us are going to die one day, and the death is never fun or glorious. So you have to enjoy the journey because the end is not always what it's cracked up to be.
Zealeus? No. Shush.
All right, continue.
But so is there a game out there for you personally, Zealeus, that people are like, oh my God, it's the best game ever? And you're like, that you found was the absolute opposite?
Oh. Hold on. Let me look at my video game logs and see if I see something of interest. Nothing of interest, honestly. Nothing immediately springs to mind as far as a OMG. But quickly. Well, I think more of it for me, though, is it's more of a style of game. So a game that seems like I should love, like, for instance, a Elder Scrolls, because it's the RPG. I also, as you know, I'm not big into open world games. So a game like that, or same thing, even like The Witcher. The Witcher's a little bit too open world for my taste. So games like that most people are like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, meh, I'm sure it is. But it just doesn't do it for me, sir.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, for me, I think off the top of my head, I think this Once Upon a Time was an actually good game in my mind, but because it's been hoarded out so much, I can't stand Chrono Trigger. Like, everyone going, oh my God, Chrono Trigger. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want it. Let's talk about something else.
There's always time for it, sir.
I mean, I will take it. I will also admit that the Souls games, the Dark Souls games, Elden Ring, there was like, oh, it's amazing. I'm sorry. Like, there's a point where I actually want to make progress in a game. Yes, I understand. These games are supposed to beat the shit out of you until you get it right. But putting, I don't even know how many freaking hours I put into Elden Ring, but basically I have mastered killing the wildlife in the game, and that's it. Like,
yeah, that's definitely fair.
That to me,
actually, I think one for me is actually Assassin's Creed. Like, I've tried, I think, 3 of these Assassin's Creeds. It's like, not even the open worldness, but I feel like they just get to be super repetitive. It's either like the original ones where you actually did the stealth, just became super repetitive stealth kills, or later in games, like the combat just was never, like when they became almost like more of like an action RPG.
Yeah.
The action combat was never that good to me. There's other games I thought did it better. So I'm just kind of like, man, like I just never found the games that good. Or like they would have it like, oh, it's more of like an action style, but like you're still supposed to like stealth around.
So with Assassin's
They
Creed,
just didn't
I
do it for me.
I like the story, but I think that there was, and I will agree with you. There was a lot of filler. There's a lot of like repetitive crap shit that you had to do. That was just kind of like, that like literally. I can't remember which Assassin's Creed it was, but like you could get like poison on your dagger or on your stiletto, your retractable stiletto. And I'd literally just like walk through crowds and just start stabbing people just for shits and giggles because I'm getting bored.
Yeah.
You know?
They just never did it for me.
I mean, I love the stories. I loved, this historical take. Now, of course, long time friend of the show, Jesse, who's been one of our co-hosts many years ago now, he loves the Assassin. Well, he loved at least the first 3 or 4 Assassin's Creed because he's a history buff, and so this was right in his wheelhouse. Yes, did they make up some stuff to fit it in there? Absolutely, but at the same time, it was good stuff. I have a game that a lot of people love that I didn't. I found really boring and just kind of meh, and that of course is The Last of Us. I was like, okay. It was like, oh my god, it's amazing. We're gonna make a TV show out of it. I'm like, how? It's a girl and a dude walking around fighting against zombies. I mean, that's so original.
But zombies are so cool, man. Don't you know? Everyone loves to fight some zombies.
When are we? I mean, what? I feel like we have been on like zombie overload for like 3 years. Maybe COVID has kind of pushed off the need for the next thing. But dear God,
there's always time for zombies.
I guess. But anyways, was never really my thing. I'm trying to pull up this website real quick here. Excuse me. Dang it! I had something that I've now.
You seem so confused.
I am confused because there was a story I had that's now closed, and I can't find it now. There is a new kid movie or kiddie movie out on Netflix called The Beast, or yeah, I think it's just called The Beast or The Sea Beast. The Sea Beast. It's not bad. It's pretty good, but oh my god, if you've seen How to Train Your Dragon, just put it in the ocean, and that's really the movie. But it's good. In the world of Netflix, The Sea Beast, heroic monster hunters take on to the high seas to kill fearsome creatures in order to keep water safe for seafarers. Or at least that's where everyone believes.
Hunter? I'm very confused.
Huh?
It sounds like Monster Hunter.
Yeah. I mean, that's, whatever.
Or a lot of games or TV shows for that matter.
Where once again, there is no such, and I like people like, there's some original, just got to look for the original ideas. There's no such thing as original idea at this point. There's just a different spin on an existing idea.
I don't think that's fair. I think you could still try to have original content. I mean, think about it. Like, especially think about like Akira. That was pretty damn original when it came out.
Yes. Now, of course, you've had a bunch of repeaters.
Well, this is true. Or Princess Mononoke when that came out.
Yep.
So I think there definitely could still be originality. I don't know if I necessarily buy that it's rarer than it used to be, because you always had the Hollywoodization issue, and that's been an issue since basically the cinema came out.
Yep.
So I think you still occasionally have the actual unique movie or show or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But they're usually not the ones that make the headlines.
Agreed.
I mean, let's be honest. Why do you think they made 6 Transformer movies? Those are the ones that, for better or for worse, make the headlines.
Because it's Michael Bay and there's explosions, and we love violence in the United States of America.
Explosions? I shall watch it after this show, sir.
Yes, lots of big booms. A couple robots sprinkled here and there. But mostly explosions. Actually, it goes military, explosions, robots. That's the the hierarchy.
Is that the slogan?
Yeah.
That's his card. It's like Michael Bay.
Military, explosions, and the actual content from for the name of the movie.
Wait, there's actually a story here about.
It's like Avatar. Oh, wait, no, that's James Cameron. I was about to say Avatar. Military, explosions, blue people. But that's James Cameron. That's not Michael Bay.
But hey, there's another one coming out.
Yes, finally. I feel like they've put that off for quite a while.
Yeah, I haven't been to the movie theater since COVID, and that's definitely a movie theater movie, so I doubt I'll actually see it.
Okay, here we go. Michael Bay movie. Armageddon. Military, world-ending explosion, deep rig drillers. Oh, God, I'm going to have too much fun with this.
Yeah, what?
I said I'm about to have way too much fun with this, looking down stuff he's directed. Yeah. Bad Boys 2. Cops, explosions, buddy comedy.
Hey, the first and second Bad Boys were actually pretty fun movies.
Oh no, I'm just saying, but that's the Michael Bay formula. It's like,
yeah.
Anyways, sorry, I went off on a tangent because that's what I do.
But at least, like, I'll say, like, the first and 2 ones, like, yes, they're explosions, but like, there's actually good action shots.
Yeah. Of course.
That were actually well done with good cinematography versus a movie like Transformers, which was just not even fun to watch because you didn't know what the hell's going on the screen.
Agreed.
That's what was so unfortunate about it. It was like, well, this is dumb.
Yes. So, if I heard right, at San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to be a Dungeons and Dragons pop-up tavern. And damn it, I wish that I could see it.
They could totally, if they did it right, could make it like its own version of Battle and Brew, if you think about it.
But it'd just be a limited time thing. Which, by the way, we need to go to Battle and Brew.
I'm always ready to go to B&B, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen who are watching or listening to this, either live or recorded, if you're in the Atlanta area, you need to go to Battle and Brew. Battle and Brew is open every day but Mondays? Is that right?
I know it is. Yeah, it is closed one day. But I don't remember what it actually is.
I'm going to look it up right now. Because, gosh,
yep, it's Monday.
Okay. Don't go on Mondays. Otherwise, okay. Don't go on Mondays and go on Thursdays as long as it's not between the hours of 8 p.m. and 9:30ish.
Why go on Thursdays?
Because you're watching us. Unless you could get Battle and Brew to turn us on.
That'd be kind of cool.
And then go right ahead. And I got no problem with that.
Request it on so that they can see us.
Okay. There's this great show that we're going to be missing out on, dude. Turn up the volume.
Crank up the volume so we can all hear it.
Crank it up, baby.
And of course, they still have their $3 B&B lager.
Yeah. Which I think we discovered was PBR, right? Or was it Bush?
I taste a step up from PBR, though.
Is it Bush?
Might be. But it's not PBR. Right? It's not that lame.
Anyways. All right, kids. Well, I think we've reached the end of the show. Well, first of all, Zealeus, are you playing anything fun?
I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14 and Tales of Arise are currently my games.
Ruggage. I beat Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I'm playing. Of course, now I've just blanked out on the name of the game, so I'm gonna have to cheat. 1 second here. Neon White, which is an awesome game. With also has the voice talent of Steve Blum. So that's probably why I'm playing it. And then I believe I've picked out the next Alter Confusion playthrough. So for those patrons out there, be on the lookout for. I believe I've decided on Act 1 of The Lost Legends of Redwall.
Where did Redwall go, sir?
It's actually an abbey, and Redwall is actually the name of a series by Brian Jacques, which is a fantastic series. You got Redwall, you got Martin the Warrior, Matamo, and a shit ton of other books. I highly recommend that you read Redwall and Matamo and Martin the Warrior, bare minimum. But the early playthrough will be for one of those. Oh, shit. I just messed up Zealeus. There we go. Zealeus's video just kind of danced around the screen there for a second.
Maybe I was dancing a little bit. You never know.
I did try playing a game. It's supposed to be a horror game called Blackberry. I had to stop almost like 10 minutes in because it was originally Russian and then it was dubbed in English. And the individual who they got to read the English lines, wow. This is why this is kind of fun. It was kind of fortuitous that Zealeus actually brought up the fact of the original voice acting breathing life into the game, because you have this game that's absolutely 100% Russian. That's your first audio option. And, you could feel the passion in what the guy's saying. Then you have the English translation. It's like, so I ran into the tree. I had to find a way to get round tree to get to house of my friends. I'm like, oh, no.
Nice.
No.
That sounds a little painful.
Yes. The first big puzzle is like, the numbers mean to do something, and I'm like, but for what? Silence.
What indeed, sir?
But
maybe you should do your own voiceovers for it.
Dude, I'm like, look, if ladies and gentlemen, if you are a indie developer out there and you need like a voiceover, I will give you a voiceover, and I will put the passion in every single spoken word. I will not give you.
Maybe that's what they say. These are missing. It's a little bit of Alter Confusion voiceovers.
Exactly. I will not give you a monotone, almost robotic reading of the words. Oh, yay, we just won the battle.
But what if it's a robot, sir? Maybe there's a programmed robot that is supposed to be monotone. And
if it fits with the character, sure. But if it's supposed to be like, yes, we won, and it's read, yes, we won the battle. Many died. I'm very sad for the death of my friends. Sigh.
I understood every word you just said, sir.
I understand that you understood every single word, but did you feel the passion? I think not. Anyways. But yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday. Oh my Lord. Hold on.
You can do it.
Sorry, I think the root canal pain stuff is starting to really get to me now. One sec. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.